So here's just some of the studies that are in the PERC report. Obesity is linked to poor academic performance, including missing more days of school, lower GPA. And I thought this was interesting, fewer years of schooling. So if I'm obese, I'm actually going to go to school for fewer years than my more fit counterparts. So my more fit people may choose to go to college, but I'm not. And why not? Because I'm obese. I thought that was eye-opening. All students benefit from increased physical activity, and this really hit home with me because I live in a town with high-risk students. Low-performing schools have more to gain. So the people who are in most danger of sanctions from NCLB and who are the most afraid of going out for physical education actually need to go out the most. They have the most incentive to go out for PE. Because those low-performing schools, because those students have more exposure to academic risk factors like violence, low expectations, and caring relationships. And physical education can help fix all that stuff. And this is also powerful. There is no evidence, and I capitalized the no myself, there is no evidence in the research literature that increased physical education negatively impacts student performance on core academic subject areas. None. Not one. There's not one. Not an exaggeration. Physical activity increases concentration, mental cognition, facilitates executive function. Does that sound like stuff you want to have happen in the classroom? Absolutely. And if you do physical activity in the classroom, it increases student activity levels, but it also reduces adiposity. So you're actually having an effect on that child's body fat by moving them in the classroom. When it's integrated in the curriculum, it takes up little time and improves on-task behavior. Now this website is out of date, and I haven't changed it. North Carolina Department of Education has a program called Energizers. 85% of their districts use them. They've had over 28,000 teachers trained in it. And they have these great PDFs that you can print out off the web, free. They have one for elementary school, and then they have one that's separated by subjects for middle and high school. So you have the English one, the math one, the science one. But the NCPE for me, if you type that in, you're going to get a thing that says that this website address is no longer active. So if you just Google Energizers, North Carolina, you'll find it. And I'm sure you've all seen this. This is a California study. It's been done twice. In 2001 and 2004, both times came up with the same results. And basically what you're looking at is a 5th grade chart, a 7th grade chart, and a 9th grade chart. And it just shows that the more fitness tests that a kid's pass, there are 6 different fitness tests that they have to take by law. The more fitness tests that they pass, the higher they score on standardized tests. It's across the board in 5th, 7th, and 9th grade. California, for the longest time, was the only state in the union that ran that study. Texas just did one, I think, in 2009, 2010, and they came up with the exact same results. But California's actually run it twice. They're actually the bellwether state when it comes to this kind of stuff. And API, everybody familiar with what API is? I don't want to speak education speak if you don't know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows what API is, right? It's the California measure of performance, academic performance index. So what this one shows is the higher the percentage of time that kids spend being physically active in school, the higher the school's API score. And it's true across the board in reading, language, and math. You see all the scores going up. Boys, girls, doesn't matter. The more physically active they are, the higher their test scores in reading, language, and math. And this is interesting too. On the social side of things, we also know learning environment is important. So here's a study that was done by PE for Life, which is a foundation that Phil Lawler started in Illinois. But they actually they're based now in Kansas City. So here's an elementary school, an inner city urban elementary school in Kansas City. In 1 year, they made one change, only one change. They went from 1 day a week PE to 5 day a week PE. Same principal, same staff, same curriculum, same students, same everything, except 1 day a week PE to 5 day a week PE. The result was a 59% drop in discipline incidences involving violence in 1 year, 67% out of school suspension day drop by making that one change. So we're talking about learning environment, physical education. Because we know if the bum is numb, the brain is the same. So we've got to get these kids moving. We've got to turn them on instead of turning them off. They have to be engaged. So this is just a sampling of the resources that I pulled from. I've gotten to meet John Rady a couple times, actually 3 times. And he's awesome. You guys, when he's here next week, yeah. Go. He's fantastic. Jean Blades Madigan, she has a website. It's called Action-Based Learning. I think this has changed to ABL. I think it just says abl.com. But if you type in Jean Blades and Action-Based Learning, you'll find her website. Brain Gym. Kathy Summerford. Has any of you seen Kathy Summerford present? She's a Fresno State grad. She has a website called fitforlearning.com. We brought her to Delano. We brought Jean Blades to Delano. We brought Kathy to Delano. She's a fireball. And she calls herself the Dollar Tree Queen because she does more stuff with a wadded up piece of paper than anybody I've ever seen. And she's all about integrating physical education, physical activity, and academics. And she will come out and in-service people and do workshops. She's done workshops for all of our teachers and our administrators. When I brought her out, she's got a book called Action-Packed Classrooms. It's in its second edition now. Action-Packed Classrooms. It's about that thick. It's about that big. You can read it in one night, and it will change the way you teach in the classroom. She's absolutely amazing. And then Eric Jensen, of course, he's done a ton of brain research on as it relates to teaching and learning. So great stuff.